All right, welcome to this class. My name is Chigos Rim. My friends call me Eli though. So I'm gonna be talking about HTML and going to give you like a basic rundown on how HTML works and how the whole website thing works too. So HTML is like the language that is mostly for browsers and is mostly used to build your web pages. So that is a standard language that is mostly used for creating web pages, and it's usually called HTML, which means hypertext markup language. So over here is like a sample of HTML or a sample of the HTML code, and I'm gonna live preview it over here. So this is a sample HTML code, and this is a sample HTML web page. All right. Now let's explain further. So HTML is like a standard language for creating web pages, and it's always used to define the structure of a web page. It also contains a series of elements, and those elements are these things you are seeing over here, this and this, and also this too. This head, this title, this body here, and h1, a paragraph, all of those things. So it contains them. These are elements, and we're going to talk about them more as we delve into the video. All right. So I need to come closer so I can get the mic rolling very well. You feel my voice, right? Like I said, this is a sample HTML document, and let me explain them one by one. Now, this doc type here is used to tell the web browser that this is a HTML5 code. This is a HTML5 document. All right. We have had previous HTML versions over the years, and up till now we have version 5. So doc type declaration is mostly used to declare that this is a version 5 of HTML. This is a HTML that is version 5, and it must be at the top of every document, or at the top of every of your HTML documents. Okay, so we now have this we have this HTML element here. All right, we have this HTML element, and this is actually the root of the HTML code. Okay, so before you write any of your HTML code, that must be there too. That HTML, it has to be there. That HTML element, it has to be there. So the next thing we have is the head element. Now what the head element does is that it usually contains the meta information of your web browser. Now what do I mean by meta information? There are kind of like additional information about a web page, all right, or something like your page description. Whenever you browse on it on Google Chrome, there is something you see when the website comes up. You might likely see a short description under the search results. Those are the meta information about the web page. Okay, also the title of the web page, all of those things. External links, okay, external things that were added into the website, and maybe even things needed for SEO. Those are the things that are always contained in the head elements. So title is one of those meta information, and title always comes out at the top of your bar. So whenever you browse your website or browse a website, any type of website, there is always this title that you see at the top of that page. Okay, so let's give this title a name, like call it dummy. Okay, after we've given it dummy, okay, for some reason it's not loading up here, so I'm gonna do it directly from my browser. When I load it directly from my browser, I'm gonna bring it over here for you to see what I mean by dummy being the title of the web page. Okay, so browser is loading, and okay, it just created the live preview. Now look at what I mean. Now this is my live preview, and this is what I mean. Dummy is the title of the web page. Okay, so it's a kind of metadata that is contained in the header, and most of the browsers you visit and you see a page name here is always the title of that page. And how we do for the title, or how we write a title, is using this title element over here, and this title element will be written inside the head element. Okay, so like I said, the head element contains all the meta information about a web page. Now the next thing is the body. Now the body is this, the body element is this. The body element is what contains everything that the web page is going to render. All right, what I mean by rendering I mean display. The web page is going to display, so it is only the things contained inside this body element that the web page is going to display. All of these things here, my h1 tag or my p tag, or we can call them h1 elements and p elements, they are displayed here. All right, they are displayed here. Those are the things you are going to be seeing in your browser. Everything that is going to be shown on your web browser are those things written inside the body of your HTML code. Okay, whenever I'm saying elements, what I mean by element is, whenever I say element, now this is, for example, what I see over here is a h1 element. Now an element consists of the starting tag, which is this first one that you open up, then a closing tag, which is this, and is always being differentiated with a slash, then the content inside of it, a content. That is what consists of an element. So I can write this again, I write this again. I say I want to write a h1 element, so I'm going to write the starting tag, which is h1 close, and write the closing tag. Though my Visual Studio Code brings it up automatically, it closes it up automatically, so it closes the ending tag automatically, but that doesn't change the fact that it's h1 element. All right, so we now have to put in the dummy text inside the element content. So we can say element content, elements. Okay, let's say this is an element content. Okay, then I'm gonna do something again. Let's rewrite this and explain it further. So to write a HTML code, clean this up, we're gonna do this again. We'll create our doc type declaration. Doc type. So Visual Studio Code, by the way, whatever you're writing your HTML code, you're going to use Visual Studio Code as our code editor. I'll create a video about that and leave it in the link description. Okay, or also you might see it anywhere on the screen here. So when I put doc type HTML, close it up. Okay, then you click on enter. Now we're not going to write the root of the element, so we're going to write the HTML element. Like I said, an element comprises of a starting tag and a closing tag, then the content. So we're going to write HTML element, HTML starting tag and closing tag, which is this. Okay, then we're not going to write the content. Now an element can contain other elements. Okay, so HTML can contain other HTML elements. So we're going to put in the other elements, and the other elements we're going to put in is the head element. The head element. And as we put in the head element, like I said, contains the meta information. Then Inside this element, we're going to put in another elements or other elements too. But the first one we're going to talk about maybe in this video, or we're going to talk about in this video. Apparently, we're actually talking about it, so there's no need of saying all of those things. So what we're going to talk about in this video is the title. Now, put in the title. This is it. All right. Now, inside this title, that is where we write the title of the web page that we are writing about. Okay. So we can call it sample title. Let's say sample title. Now, as we've written this, when I want to write I'm putting the body element inside the HTML element. All right. So the body element, we'll put it in starting and closing. Remember, the reason I'm saying this is we can have elements inside another elements. All right. So that is the reason I'm actually writing this sample HTML code. So we have the body element. Now inside the body element, that is where we put in all that things that the HTML is going to the web browser is going to display. Okay. Now inside this body, we can have all that elements written inside of it. So we can now call on the h1 tag. We can say the h1, which is usually used for writing headings. Okay. h1, this is a sample. Okay, a sample. So as I am writing this, it is automatically displaying over here. Now, this is what I'm writing. That's one of the reasons I'm using like a live preview, so show the viewers what they're actually watching, what they're actually coding. And if you're writing your code, you'll be seeing it displayed live for you. Okay. Then we can use the paragraph tag. That is a p tag. It's mostly used for writing long text. Open it and close it, then put in the content inside. So Visual Studio Code comes with something that helps you fill in your codes with dummy text. Okay, so I'm going to fill it in by writing lorem. So once I write lorem, then press enter, it's going to fill it up with dummy text. So lorem ipsum the law and all of those things. Okay, so we continue. Going to the new line. We can write in other things too, but I'm going to explain all of those things in the next video. You get? So as we progress, we're going to learn a lot of things on HTML and CSS. So like and subscribe the video for more video like this. And I'm gonna progress and see if there's any other thing that I need to show you. See you in the next video.